Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be using glitter cardstock today, and we are going to be making a tooth fairy box for my daughter. She has 2 loose teeth, so the tooth fairy is about to come and visit her. And so I bought this paper mache box. I think it was like 50 cents at Michael's last week. And I'm just going to put a quick coat of paint on it, pink, like a mauve pink color. It's just acrylic paint, folk art paint, and then this foam brush. So nothing crazy, and that paper mache will soak up this paint really quick. It'll probably be dry in under a couple minutes time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to find a tooth shape online. I'm just gonna do a quick Google search for tooth silhouette and find one that I like. And then I will pull it into my program. I use Silhouette Studio, and I will trace it real quick, and that's how I will make the cut file. I'm gonna put a little tooth with the glitter cardstock right here on top of the box, so that way when she loses her tooth, she can put it right inside, and the tooth fairy will be able to easily find it under her pillow. So let's just finish this up. Just like I said, a quick coat of paint. We're gonna set that aside to dry, put the lid back on. In Silhouette Studio, I'm gonna open up the clip art that I already saved from a Google image search, and it's just a black and white tooth, so it's gonna be easy to trace. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. Then I'm gonna go to the trace tool on the right-hand side, select trace area, and then I'll click and drag over the entire tooth. Once I've done that, click outline and then trace or trace outer edge. With this image, it doesn't really matter. So now if I click and I drag the white and the image away, you can see it traced the tooth. It also traced a little bit of that text that was underneath. So let's just delete the image. I'm gonna zoom in, select it again. See how when I select a little part, it selects everything? I need to right click and go to release compound path. Now I can reselect just the trace of that text and delete it. So one thing I need to do so that I can cut my tooth the correct size for the top of this box is I just have a measuring tape right here. And I'm just gonna measure, it's 2 3/4 inches. I also, this was some Christmas ribbon that I got. It was on clearance for 80% off. So I figured that'd be really cute, somehow tie the box up or put it around the side. So I've got my tooth shape traced. I'm just going to go ahead and resize it now. In Silhouette Studio, I'll select the tooth, drag it from the corner, and then I'm gonna place it in the top corner of the mat so I don't waste any of my paper. All right, we got our tooth ready now. I actually got these cutting mats on Amazon last week because mine was getting old and not very sticky anymore, not sticky at all anymore. And so they're not Silhouette brand and they're not Cricut brand. Actually the brand on them says Funny Game, and I'll put the link below. But they were $10 for 3 12x12 mats, and I thought that was a really, really good deal. So I purchased them. They're light grip mats. I like to use the light grip because I hate when I put my material on and then I peel it off and it rips. That's really frustrating to me. So I've got my cardstock on here. I'm gonna line it up with the line, press my arrow. That'll load the mat in. And then I'm going to pick, for the material that I'm cutting, I'm gonna go ahead and pick cardstock glitter. And so what that'll do is it'll tell my machine the force and the speed and the blade setting to cut with so that everything will be cut correctly. Okay, so back on my screen, now that it's the correct size, I'll click send, change it to cardstock glitter. And you'll see when I do that, it automatically changes the force, the speed, and the blade depth. And since my blade, I'm not sure, is a little off. I try to actually take that blade force. It was set to 6 for cardstock glitter and I bumped it up to 7, but I kept the force at 33 and the speed at 3. So, and it also does show it's gonna do 2 passes when it cuts, which means it's gonna cut my shape once and then it's gonna cut it again just to make sure it cuts completely through that glitter cardstock. So let's press send. All right, it's finished cutting, so we're gonna press the on load. And then I'm just gonna peel. Sometimes it's best when you're cutting cardstock with a new mat, even though this is light grip, it's still brand new. So it's best to put the paper down and peel it this way so that your paper doesn't get that rolled effect. All right, so we got the big part off, and as you can see, when I started pulling, see how it started doing that whole rolled effect? And that's when I flipped it over and did it the other way. So let's do it again with this. I hate putting the mat down on the table. I just cleaned it, but it picks up anything, if there's any little hairs or crumbs or anything like that. All right, so look at our tooth is gonna fit on there perfectly, and it's glittered, and Delilah, my daughter, is gonna love it. So let's just take some hot glue, and I'm gonna hot glue all over, except for the very top and bottom where it kind of hangs off the box a little bit. And it's probably gonna be smashed under her pillow. I probably should have sized it to be exactly the same size as the top or a little smaller, but this will do. All right, so we have the tooth on there, on the lid. And now you guys, how long did that take? We have a custom little tooth fairy box. I could even cut some vinyl and put her name on it and put Delilah's tooth, which I think I might actually do because she loves when things have her name on them and belong to her. She has 3 brothers. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, so her brothers like to give her a little bit of a hard time. And then I might just hot glue some ribbon on there, or maybe what we'll do is I'll cut a piece that we can kind of, once we get our tooth in there, wrap it up and tie it. All right, so thanks for joining me today on this craft, and I hope that you get out some glitter cardstock and create something of your own.